There's something very soothing about being beside water. I brought you to a seldom visited beauty spot in Loch for today's Peace in the Storm reflection. I love the way people have more time to talk these days when you meet them. But time and again, I hear the same sort of story of the grief of separation. In the last week, I've spoken to a granny who can't have her grandchildren on her knees to tell them a story. A grandfather who can't hold his newborn grandchild. A father who can't have his young children stay with him because they stay with their mother. And other stories like that. Families broken into smaller, isolated groups, longing to be together again, grieving at the loss of normal intimacy. And we don't know how long this will go on for. We try to make the best of it, exchanging videos of what we're doing, making video calls, having them visit at a distance, telling them stories with cliffhangers to resolve in the next visit, making things to give to the children for them to remember us by, and then making pictures for us to pin on the wall, thinking of treasure hunts and adventures we can arrange for them to enjoy while we watch and encourage at a distance. At a distance. There's no avoiding the reality and grief of separation. Do you know that grief in your heart? I haven't seen my son Kenny for 2 months. I long to give him a big hug. Think of that grief you feel because of separation. It's not a good thing, and you long for it to be over. I wonder, does God have that grief over you? That grief he first expressed when Adam was hiding from him and God called out, "Where are you?" That grief Jesus expressed to his countrymen when he said, "You refuse to come to me to have life." God's not under lockdown. Are you at fault because you choose to socially isolate from him and grieve his heart? Come to him now in prayer and ask his forgiveness, and come home to the God who wants to be your Father. The person who is a child of God has to isolate like everyone else at this time, and that may cause grief. But as Jesus said to his followers, "You will all leave me alone, but I'm not alone, for the Father is with me." What a joy to have in our lives the intimate company of our loving Heavenly Father. It's a joy that no lockdown or anything else can take away. In the grief of separation from family, may you know that joy today, the joy of a loving Heavenly Father's embrace.